He didn't do 7 years of superhero medical school to be called Mr.
They make a final Batman, they're like, oh yeah, he had a heart attack.
Hello, everyone, especially my 46 subscribers. So today, I am doing more of just what I enjoy doing, which is insanely judging people. Yay! Except this time, I have a guest, so special guest. Introduce yourself.
I am special guest. I am Alyssa Markell, and I am excited to be here on Patrick's channel.
I'm excited to have you here on my channel. So, the judging that we're doing today, that her and I are combining our super judgmental prowess are for the disabled, the handicapped.
And it's okay, because I'm legally blind, so I get full
so that
permission.
makes it all okay. Not only that, it is specifically disabled superheroes. So, want to get that cleared up right out of the way. Today we are going to be doing a tier list for disabled superheroes. So, Editor Patrick, put up the tier list for our superheroes. Alright, so we have 4 categories for our superheroes to fall under today. We only have 10, and it might look like we have a lot more. They duplicated themselves in not an even way. Technology. I blame Alyssa.
I have a curse. It's true.
It's true. We've been trying to set this up for over half an hour. And this is our 3rd attempt at this.
Somehow my curse has gone through the screens and cursed Patrick, so.
Alright, so our tier groups that we have are Super Duper, Super, Mailman, and Barely Heroic. Now, the criteria for these is that we're trying to look at these superheroes that have disabilities to pretty much see how they utilize their disabilities to help save the day. For Barely Heroic, we're looking at characters where their disability doesn't really have anything to do with them. It's more just happenstance or just to make it all the more tragic. For Mailman, it's going to be heroes that essentially kind of the same, like it's more of a happenstance thing, but it actually plays a pretty important role in them being able to have been a hero, to conquer something, even if it's not their particular disability that aids them as a superhero. For Super, it's going to be heroes that are a step above that, where, you know, they have their disability, but they don't let it hold them back. Be it, like, in their super life or their normal life. And then for Super Duper, it's going to be heroes that their disability is actually part of their power. It's part of who they are to save the day. They don't view it as a disability or as a weakness in any way. They use it to their advantage. With that, let's get into judging.
Woo!
All right, so the first one that we have up is Captain Marvel Jr. Alyssa, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, and I will say that this is Elvis Presley's favorite superhero. Always
nice
start
flex,
off with that fact.
I guess.
And he was a young boy who delivered papers and somehow was tragically crippled. Not really sure how, but...
I was a young boy who delivered papers. Yes, so how Captain Marvel Jr. got his powers was that he was actually in... I don't remember specifically what the accident was, but he was in an accident that broke his back, I think. And he was not supposed to survive, but Captain Marvel took him to the wizard Shazam and was like, please help me save this boy. He's got a lot of potential. He's a really good person. He deserves to be saved. And the Grand High Wizard Shazam was like, very well, even though I, a super magical being, could probably just like use some magic to mend his bones and fix his organs, I'm gonna have you be the hero here. You're going to give up some of your powers and give it to this child to save him. And even with that, it didn't quite work all the way because he still got a bum leg out of the deal. But
And he would go in and out of his disability. So he was still crippled, but when he said his name, Captain Marvel, he would turn into a superhero with powers. And so occasionally he would join Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel Jr. would join Captain Marvel on his missions. But then...
Yeah, but he couldn't, like, say Captain Marvel again because then he'd turn back. So he had to, like, find ways around talking to Captain Marvel without, like, blowing either of their secret identities or without, like, turning back.
So, yeah, they found a way around that, I guess.
All right, so where are we putting him?
I say Mailman because he technically didn't use his disability to fight crime.
True.
But he also was pretty helpful, and he was a paperboy, so...
Next up is Mr. Midnight?
I think it's Dr. Midnight.
Dr. Midnight. Oh, excuse me. He didn't do 7 years of superhero medical school to be called Mr.
He was a doctor, and I forget why this person sent in like an explosive, but a villain sent in an explosive and his injury was going blind. But then when he turned the lights off, he could see. So he made special glasses for himself, and so he would wear these like dark glasses in daylight, and he could see somehow. And then he could see in pitch darkness.
So he had a light sensitivity.
Yeah.
And could see when he wore sunglasses.
Pretty much.
And that made him a superhero.
Was it you that said that he only got like 10 comics?
I think so. Yeah.
So, yeah, people were just like, yeah, this isn't cool enough. I say we give him the lowest of the low. What do you say?
Yeah, barely heroic. All right, next is Cyborg. So, most people will probably know Cyborg from Teen Titans. Yeah. And then he also now, I think, is in Young Justice as well. So yes, Cyborg's backstory is that he was a high schooler about to go off to college on a football scholarship, which totally isn't stereotyping, because he also happens to be one of the first heroes of color. Representation.
Nice.
But his parents were super geniuses. Because his parents were super geniuses, they brought their work home with them. It goes horribly, tragically wrong, and pretty much ends up destroying their son's body. And so instead of letting their son, like, die with dignity, they are like, no, we cannot let our child die. We need to make him a super robot. They were like, you know what? Instead of giving our son this, like, normal life, like, trying to keep it a secret that all this happened, letting him go do his football scholarship thing, like, go off to college, find a woman, whatever. Instead of doing that, let's just, like, make him look as outlandishly weaponized as possible and destroy any chance of him having a normal life. His only options from here will be superhero, supervillain, or, like, light post.
They said we want him to be different.
Our son's not like other boys.
He's unique.
Right?
I kind of want to give him super.
You want to give him super?
Or super duper. I don't know. What do you think?
Honestly, but with me, it's between super and mailman. Because, like, the fact that he's an amputee doesn't actually, like, help anything.
True.
But he also really didn't have a choice. Like, he kind of just... I'm sure given his choice, he would have just been like, yeah, no, I would have just died.
Kill me now. True. I think that's why. I'm like, you know, I feel bad for the guy. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, he did utilize those robot parts. So I'm gonna say super. I'm sticking with super. Super is my final answer.
All right, next is Miss Echo. So I'll let you take that one.
Okay, so Echo is a part of Daredevil's universe, and she started out as a villain to Daredevil. She was I think she was born deaf, and her parents realized that, wait a minute, this girl is a genius because she can mimic, like, what is it called? Photogenic memory. Whenever they battled, usually Matt Murdock, who is Daredevil, doesn't show his identity, but to her, he was like, hey, wait a minute, you know, like, I'm blind, like, I'm Matt Murdock. And then I think they became, like, cool with each other, and she was like, yeah, you didn't kill my parents, because I know you.
Because we peeps, we homies.
So, yeah, Echo definitely utilized her disability and just could mimic other people's movements.
That's actually pretty badass.
Right? Yes.
I like it. So super duper for her then. Because she, like, hardcore was like, yeah, me being deaf has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, she's like,
I'm
whatever.
a badass. This next hero comes from the TV show Heroes. Which, if anyone remembers, that was in, like, 2008. So this hero, her name is Emma, and she has, what is this disability called? Synesthesia? I'm pretty sure I pronounced that correctly. But synesthesia is the ability to, it's technically a disorder, a disability, whatever, that mixes your senses. So people can, like, touch something, and from the touch of it, they can taste it. Or they can, like, see something and know what it smells like.
So weird.
If I have this correct, because it's been a hot minute since I watched the show, this particular hero had the ability to see sound. But yes, I know that she was able to see music, and I was like, that's the freaking coolest ability ever.
Right.
So, there's that. That's pretty much it. I clearly did a ton of research from this. I was going off the fact that I watched this series almost a decade ago.
So I say we gave her Mailman?
I think barely heroic, because she specifically didn't have a whole lot to do with it. Like, actually, I'd say Mailman, because she doesn't let herself be, like, a victim because of her disability. I'm pretty sure she's also deaf. Like, that's a part of it, is that she's deaf, but she can see sound.
Yeah, I like Mailman for her.
Our next hero is Komodo. So her technical disability, similar to Cyborg, is that she's technically an amputee. Her superpower is that she can regenerate her limbs, and I believe it was one of the villains from Spider-Man. Pretty much, like, gene spliced her with a lizard, or, you know, more specifically like a Komodo dragon. Mm-hmm. And that sounds very cool. It sounds like honestly, it sounds like a cop-out of her disability. Like, her disability in no way helps her. And she even, like, in a comic, I think she was going, like, toe-to-toe with Spider-Man. He had said something to her about, like, you know, well, we can take away your powers. And she, like, lost it, broke down, was like, no, I am nothing without my powers. I'm just another injured person, disabled person. Like, I can't have that happen.
Yeah, some of the writers on these, I'm just like, ugh.
So I'm going to go with barely heroic for her, because
she's nothing without her.
I understand the representation thing, but that's such a poor way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so our next superhero is Daredevil. I'm going to let you talk now while I let these charge for a minute, and I won't interject. That way it doesn't mess with the recording.
Okay, so Daredevil is blind. Oh my gosh. So I watched this series a few years ago, so that's kind of what I have a basis on. Matt Murdock is a lawyer, and he is blind, but his superpower is that he can hear sight. When he was a little boy, I think he was in a car accident. And there's always that traumatic scene where he's like, I can't see. And,
no, he wasn't in a car accident, you crazy.
It, like, blew up, right?
No, an acid truck blew up.
Oh, crap, okay.
He was trying to save his dad. And, instead of, like, his dad ending up with a bunch of acid on him, like, he I think, like, pushed him out of the way just in time, but then, like, a bunch of acid just, like, flew into his face.
Oh, okay. Okay. Not bad. I just remember the little boy laying there like, I can't see.
That's our Alyssa. Fun, fun, fun.
He was raised by nuns.
Nuns taught him how to fight.
No, he was raised by nuns, but this guy, like, one guy taught him how to fight. Yeah.
So where are we putting that?
Tell him how to fight. I would give Daredevil super duper, just because he is, like, consistently blind. There's no, like, fixing it.
Okay, we're putting him under the super duper. So the next superhero is one of my personal favorites throughout all of superhero-dom, and that is Oracle. So, I know she's really... I mean, we've used a bunch of cliche disableds. Disabled superhero, wow, disabled. Listen to me being all offensive. Oracle, for those that don't know, is Barbara Gordon. And that should sound familiar to a lot of DC people, because Barbara Gordon is Detective / Commissioner Gordon's daughter. She is also Batgirl. In a really pivotal comic to the Batman series called The Killing Joke, Joker wants to, like, try and make Commissioner Gordon go crazy. He, like, tortures and does a bunch of terrible things to Barbara. That way, Commissioner Gordon has to watch it later. And part of that was that he paralyzed her from the waist down. So, yeah, she couldn't be Batgirl anymore. Alright, so, Barbara Gordon did not let her being paralyzed stop her from still being a part of the team. So she utilized all of her other skills, because she's super duper savvy with technology, to become Oracle. And Oracle pretty much became like Batman's eyes and ears around Gotham. So she's going under super duper. She's actually going in the tier above super duper that doesn't exist because she's such a badass and I love her.
She said, cripple me, so I will just be the eyes and ears of this operation.
Right, moving on. So the next hero that I added in was Deadpool, actually.
Oh.
When I think about it, I'm like, oh, he is kind of disabled in a way.
Yeah.
Because he's deformed. I think that does technically count as, like, a disability. Because he can't participate, like, in normal society. The superpower is that, like, he has, like, super regenesis.
Which can also feel like a disability in a way, I feel like. Like, being immortal.
I disagree. All the pansies out there that are like, oh, I don't want to see all my loved ones pass away. I would never want to live forever. I'm like, screw you.
I'm like, there's a time frame that I'm like, you know. His
superpower doesn't really have anything to do with his disability. What are you thinking for where he falls?
I think we should give him super, at least. Or super duper.
At least? See, you're so generous with these because I'm like, I'm thinking Mailman. Alright, our last super here is kind of debatably disabled. But Alyssa brought it up, and so I'm going to throw her a bone, and I included it. Iron Man.
Okay, so Iron Man has that heart thing going on, and obviously he needs his what do you call it, his, like, what is that circle?
I forget what it's called.
We're so awesome at this.
We're fake fans.
Anyway, so he has that, you know, to keep him alive, and I think he had, like, what is it, he has, like, shards of
shrapnel
in it.
And that thing is pretty much just a magnet, like, pulling the metal away, or keeping the metal from going deeper into his heart.
Metal, thank you. I don't know why I said glass. Anyway, so yeah, he has the metal and that thing keeping him alive. And the thing is, though, is he doesn't really utilize that as a like, it's not a disability necessarily, but technically it is, because you're considered disabled if you have, like, a heart disease, like certain ones.
Are you?
Yeah. And if he didn't have that, though, like, he wouldn't be alive. But the suit gives him so many powers.
So it's his super suit.
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know where to put him.
Part of me is like, well, we could just stick him under super again, because without his super suit,
True.
he'd be dead. But at the same time, it's like, eh.
Right? Like, the thing that gives you the power is the suit, but also I guess that's with Cyborg as well.
That weirdly somehow became the criteria that we have for that, so I guess he's going under super. And I'm just going to be really salty about it.
What was the original criteria?
Their disability didn't impede them in becoming super. His disability is the same as every other freaking American. We're all probably going to die from either car accident or heart disease.
Oh my god.
It's true.
They make a final Batman. They're like, oh yeah, he had a heart attack.
Then the Joker's like on his way to give his like last hurrah at Batman's funeral, and then like gets hit by the funeral procession. Like just total T-boned, and then he dies too. It's perfect. All right, guys. Well, that was 10 superheroes with disabilities. Well, 9 superheroes with disabilities and Iron Man. I'm going to thank Alyssa for being here, for doing this with me. I think this was fun, in spite of some of the little off-color humor that we've made regarding this situation. Part of why I did this and why I did this with Alyssa is that over on Alyssa's channel, she actually talks about all of her disabilities, and she talks about all of her medical problems. But she talks about it in a way that, like, she's able to laugh about it, and she's able to look past things that have happened to her and, you know, show that she's come out the other end and is looking forward to, you know, this life that she can still have. So while some of the stuff that, you know, particularly I may have said that seems like a little insensitive, or, you know, jokes that we've made in this, it's with a purpose that kind of no matter what comes at you in this world, there's more. There's more out there, and there's more of a way to, you know, make your life as super duper as possible, but it's what you make it. 'Cause life's what you make it, so let's make it right.
Love the Hannah Montana reference, and that was so sweet, and you do not have to feel bad about saying anything, because I probably say a lot of things that people are like, oh my gosh, is she okay?
Like, do you need to talk, girl, about your own defamation?
But that's been like my way of getting through it, is just laughing at myself and using humor. So
all right, well, thank you, Miss Alyssa, for being on my channel. Head over to her channel now. Her link will be in the description, as well as I will put a card up there, I think? There. Somewhere. Linking the video that we just did on her channel, where we talk about witches.
Ooh.
So, spooky. So go check that out. And yes, if you made it this far in the video, go ahead and leave a like. I keep hitting my mic. Comment below literally everything that we got wrong. Like, just itemized, call us out on everything. Prove that we are fake fans.
roast us.
Subscribe if you're new to the channel, or if you're not new and just haven't subscribed yet. And we will see you guys next time. Bye!
Bye.